Tim asks, can my employer keep any part of the wage subsidy for themselves?
Nay.
Nay.
So let's get this clear from the outset. The wage subsidy is not for employers to funnel into their operating costs, except for the operating costs that are wages for their workers. So the wage subsidy is specifically for employers to, they can only apply for it for you, for the workers, and they've got to pass on every cent to their employees. The only scenario that I'm aware of where they wouldn't have to pass on the entire subsidy to an employee is if their wages were lower than what the wage subsidy amount would be. So, for example, if I meet the threshold of a full-time worker, and I typically get $500, doesn't sound like much, and the subsidy amount is $585, I'd only be entitled to my $500, my full normal weekly wages. The employer then can't just pocket that $85.60 though. They've got to put that towards supporting other staff with their wages. That's the message from the government. So no, it's not for them to sort of chuck in the back pocket.
Kerry?
Oh yeah, totally agree. Short answer, no. So yeah, the wage subsidy has to be passed on to employees in full, but obviously that's less any lawful deductions such as PAYE and student loan. And like Tony said, if you normally earn less than the wage subsidy, then your employer only needs to pay you what you would normally be paid, and any surplus can be passed on to support other employees in that instance, or paid back to the government, whatever the employer decides to undertake in that instance.
I have seen a fair bit of confusion from workers on this one, and it's actually more likely to come from part-time workers, because part-time is a lot more variable than full-time hours. So I've seen, what is it, like $350 for the part-timers, I think.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah, and so it's not uncommon for a part-time worker to be getting less than $350 a week. But it is pretty uncommon for a full-time worker to be earning less than $585, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a clear answer, but it's not always clear to resolve it. Like with an employer who digs their heels in. I'd like to acknowledge that, like, the advice that we give can seem pretty straightforward, but actually doing something about it, I have to acknowledge that does take some courage, and it can be difficult.
Yeah, definitely.